Hey team, so in this video, what I want to do is run you through the model that generates 500K per year for me with one offer, one post, and one email a day. I used to run an agency. I used to sort of do everything the conventional agency way. Burnt out in the process of doing that, and then became a business consultant, got myself on LinkedIn, built an audience of 46K, an email list of 5K. And I just want to break down all of that today for you so you can see, because I remember looking up to people who were living this sort of one email a day lifestyle. But for me, I built this little ecosystem, which I want to run you through, which has helped me serve over 250 clients and 2,000 customers. And before we get into it, I just want to show you some proof from the bank account over here. So as we are sat here today, there is 587. So that's just over 500K in terms of revenue annually. And I'm sort of looking to stabilize that and get to $1 million a year in profit, not revenue, as a one-person business. And it is all with the model I'm going to show you today. I have no VAs. I do sometimes on occasion get like a contractor when I have to do some design work or development work, but that is a once-off. I do have an engineering background myself. The only thing I do outsource is my accounting. I have a phenomenal accountant who helps me along the way, and I sort of use a bunch of tools like Loom to record videos like these, Calendly, School, and all of that stuff, which isn't the point of today's video. If you want to see the full breakdown, I'll drop a video in the description below. You can hit subscribe, and sort of really grateful for you on following me and supporting me on the journey. So yeah, I've made a little doodle for us today that I'd love to run you through, which sort of showcases what we're after. So before we get into the actual model, which is going to be the core central piece, what I want to do is run you through the way that I think of this stuff, right? So if you master this drawing, it's going to help you both understand the model and also give you an edge with your content-driven business and everything that you do. I know this looks like a children's tale, and it is supposed to be, because it gets to be as simple as you let it be, right? So before we even write any content or have an offer or do anything, it's really important we understand who we speak to, right? Once we understand who we speak to, then all of this starts to make sense. So what I've done is I speak to a lot of coaches, a lot of consultants that aren't beginners. They've sort of just got a client or two. They've understood the game. They're not like just getting started, even though I have served people like that. And those people have some pains, right? Present pains. So I had to understand, and that was partially talking to myself, getting on calls with them initially, even though I don't take calls anymore, doing polls, asking them in the DMs, paying attention to the comments on my LinkedIn, on my threads, on my Instagram, on my email, and all the questions, and started painting really specific points on what we call their hell island, right? And that could be like, I take, I don't know, too many sales calls. I'm not going to write them all today because it's going to take ages, but it's like potentially I spend 4 to 6 hours a day on LinkedIn or on Instagram doing comments. I'm going viral, but I'm not actually getting as many clients as I want to. I watched Lucy sell out her program with like a reel that she danced on, and I can't do any of this. On the other side, it's like the serving, which is like, I have too many clients and I don't know what to do. I'm making 20, 30K in revenue, but I want to jump out of a window because the profit is really low and I'm burnt out and I'm hustling. So all of those things I've jotted down, and I've really dialed in who I'm speaking to, that consultant, that coach, that creator who has that present pain, who is right here on the left-hand side of this drawing, right? Then on the right-hand side, we've got Heaven Island. On Heaven Island, we've got watermelons, butterflies, flowers. Those are the desires, right? Where my ideal client wants to be. And those desires could be, I don't know, make 10 to 20K a month without sales calls, be able to work 4 days a week, live a low stress life that's energetically aligned with the business they want to run, spend more time with family, you know, whatever Heaven Island looks like. I've also really specifically made 10 points to show those desires. And that is where my ideal client wants to be. Now, in the middle of that, we've got a bridge, right? We want to help my ideal client from Hell Island hop over to Heaven Island. And that bridge is our offer, right? Now, it doesn't matter whether we do this with sales calls or Google Docs or, you know, writing on a napkin or whatever it may be, as long as we make our ideal client feel seen and heard and we show them the potential opportunity of where they can go, the mechanism of how we get them there matters less, right? It's just the business that I run that isn't for everyone, but has worked for me and has helped me generate $854K in profit over the last 2 years as a one-man band with no sales calls, no DMs, everything is inbound, happens with this offer right here that I present. Now, whatever your offer is, you get to change that, right, to build your own bridge. But that bridge has 3 stepping stones. First, we do something, next we do something else, and then we do something else. And they start to see themselves through you painting those images. And I always tell my students, if you can draw an image of this bridge or of your offer, then the ideal client starts to see themselves in those steps. And, you know, as humans, we think in 3s, right? So in doing the first, next, then, they are able to see how they're going to hop from Hell Island into Heaven Island. Now, what I'm going to distill today is this part over here, right? Our offer, or rather the model that I have created that enables us to cross the bridge. And I want to show you how I do it with 1 post, 1 email, and 1 offer a day. So if we zoom into that a little bit, and I'll show you how that's done. Let's have a look here. So if we zoom into that a little bit, we've got the bridge, right? Which is Hell on the left side, Heaven on the right side, and we've got our first, next, then, which is the model. So what I'm going to do now is run you through what these steps are. So in my world, what I have managed to do is first, what we do is we create 1 offer, right? I'm going to put it down here. And inside of that offer, we've got something I call the core offer, which has 2 tiers. And we do that in a Google Doc. We write our Google Doc in 7 to 10 days at most. It's reviewed by myself. It is in a specific written way that enables it to sell itself, and people have sold, you know, 2K offers, 3K offers, 25K offers, all through Google Docs with 2 tiers, because coaches and consultants mostly they serve people one-on-one or in a group, which is those 2 tiers. And then from that, we bring out what I call a micro offer. Now that micro offer is something that happens already inside of the core offer. And then we turn that into a micro offer, like a digital product, in order to turn a lead to a customer and then a client. And this will all make sense. Now, once we have our 1 offer, that is the first thing we do. Next, we want to write 1 post per day, right? Now, I care less about what that post is in terms of the social media platform. It could be a video, it could be a reel, it could be a text post, it could be a carousel, it could be on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube. It doesn't matter, as long as you are doing 1 post per day, right? So Now, the way that we break it down is we have 2 top of the funnel posts, we have 4 middle of the funnel posts, and we have 1 bottom of the funnel post. Right now, simply put, we want to attract, nurture, and convert. There is a system behind all of that, but this video is like all high level. Essentially, what we do here is at the top of the funnel, we don't do educational posts and all of that sort of stuff, the how-to. What we do is we tackle misconceptions, pain points like we did in a little drawing. Those misconceptions are story-driven, and they're about you or they're about your client because we want them to feel seen and understood, right? So if I talk about myself in 2023 and all the mistakes I made or the misconceptions that my clients have, then people who have those that are not my clients start to perk their ears up and go, oh, I get it now. Right, so that's what I do for my top of funnel, story-driven misconceptions. Then middle of the funnel, I go how I always do something like a mad scientist, and then I show people how I did it, right? Like tell them the good, the bad, the ugly of how I did anything. And then the plan, right? The 3 steps to do something, the 5 steps to do something. This is also a plan type of long form post, right? And then bottom of the funnel, I use case studies. Case studies which are in a structure. It's not like, hey, here's a testimonial, here's how good it is. It's how John did something in 3 steps, where he was, where he went. So the ideal client can see themselves through it, right? And in this process of that one post, what I do is I make an offer every day and get people to my email list, right? Now, just before we get there, this one post has some fundamental rules. Number 1, we always want to dog whistle. What I mean by dog whistle is instead of speaking broadly and broad whistling and talking about like leadership tips or 5 ways to go viral and things that go broad, we want to whistle at a frequency that only dogs can hear us. Like we don't want to speak through a megaphone. What we want to do is speak through a dog whistle, right? Which basically means be specific. The more specific I am, the more my dream client or ideal client can hear me. That is it at its core through all those, top, middle, and bottom funnel posts. Number 2, I want to show the what, not the how. Right? Because if I give you the how, you can go and DIY it. But in coaching and consulting, if I show you the what, not the how, then you need me right now. Again, this video is a really good example of that because if you have experience, you can probably take this, but I'm not showing you the nitty-gritty how of how we do things. This is the what, right? So those are the fundamental rules. And then the third one is we want to inject personality. We want to inject our philosophy, if I can spell today. We want to inject our perspective into things. And I can't tell you how important these 3 things are in your content because I've earned a living talking about Google Docs online, my love for watermelon, my hate for Crocs, my hate for sales calls, right? And it creates polarity, it creates a tribe, right? Because your vibe attracts your tribe. And my philosophy of how I do things sells higher ticket people instead of like trying to sell an outcome. And then your perspective is what makes you, right? Like you have an opinion about something. So that is how we do, first we did 1 offer, then we have 1 post, which is the next part of the equation here. And then basically the last component is we do 1 email. Before we get into that email, remember I told you we make offers every day. I'm going to write it out here. Make an offer every day. Now, that is the golden rule for me. It doesn't matter how much of an imposter I feel or how much I used to feel people would judge me for being too sunny, for being too this, for being too that. We make an offer every single day on that post to get on the list, right? So 1 offer to get on the list and then 1 offer on the list to buy something. Those are my non-negotiables, right? And then the third one is to reply to every single client. But one offer every single day to get on the list, one offer on the list to buy something. Now, when I make this offer on LinkedIn, let's put our little doodles here, or on Instagram. On Instagram, it could be like, comment this word and I'll send you something, or, DM me. On LinkedIn, same thing, like visit my link in bio, visit my website, whatever it may be, comment below. That is an offer, right? Now, what I love to do, we want to get our ideal clients here, right? And then we want to get them here in that 3-step process. So if we number that 1, 2, 3, in the process of getting from one post to the one email section, right? What I do is I build an army of lead magnets. Lead magnet 1, lead magnet 2, lead magnet 3. Not so much an army, but these 3, right? I used to do loads of them, and I figured out, like, just find the 3 that work best by, again, being a mad scientist, experimenting with things. And then find the 2 or 3 that work best. I had one lead magnet, I still do, which is swipemymojo.com. And I've been using that for over a year, right? Now, my lead magnets are basically a plan of something, a cheat sheet, a 3 to 5 step thing to do something, a resource that people can swipe, could be any sort of resource that is helpful in your niche, and then lead magnet number 3 is some sort of deep dive. This is a deep dive of something could turn into a lead magnet easily. And inside of those lead magnets, remember we spoke about our little micro offer over here? Well, I bury micro offer number 1, micro offer number 2 inside of that. So they can still get the freebie, but also at the end, if they want to subscribe, they can, and they can get into the micro offer. Right now, that is on the way to the email list, right? So once we get there, they're presented with the lead magnet army, they get on the email list, they get a welcome, all of that stuff, right? And then some of them will convert from a lead to a customer, right? Let's put that in here, lead to customer. In that process, because they're buying something that is worth, I don't know, $1 to $100. And then step 3, here we've got 1 email a day. Now, my model is super duper simple. I use this thing called story lesson pivot offer. I write story driven emails. Basically, I live life, I write about it online, and then I pick out the lesson from that story, then I pivot and I make an offer every single day, right? Some of them that are life-driven stories about cleaning diapers and walking my dogs and going to the supermarket, I find the lesson that is relevant in business and contextualize it. Whereas the stories that are business-driven about my clients getting a win or me getting a win are easier to pivot. But again, I like using a mix of both of those. And then basically I rotate on the offer, at the bottom of each story lesson pivot, I make an offer in those emails. They're about 200 words, 200 word emails. I make a low ticket offer and a high ticket offer, and I rotate between low and high every week, right? Now I call this little engine the micro snack cartel. Was inspired by our friend Pablo Escobar in the Netflix series, right? Like they give someone a little snack of the goods before they send them in to buy the bigger snack, right? So I have this micro snack cartel, like little engine which turns leads to customers, because we're giving them these micro offers, right, through the lead magnets, and then we're writing story-driven emails, and we're getting them to go from lead to customer, and then we only speak to customers, right? Now, once you've become a customer, that's the reason why 400 of my customers over time account for 95% of my profit, which is nuts, right? 46,000 followers on LinkedIn, 5,000 almost on my email list, but 400 of those helped me make those numbers that I've shown you at the beginning of this video, right? 500K a year from 400 people. Because those customers ascend to become clients with this micro snack cartel. So what I am doing, again, it's always story-driven emails with my little micro snack cartel. You've bought something. If you buy something, I'm going to make you an offer to become a higher ticket client. And I've got a group coaching program called Modern Maker, where I help people install all of this. I know there's a lot here. I think my handwriting is a little bit messy, but if we summarize this a little bit, maybe if I use some color, it will help bring it to life, hopefully. So what we spoke about today in summary is basically we have one offer, and that one offer has two tiers, right? It's group coaching tier or a one-to-one tier, and the closer in proximity you go, the more expensive it gets. From that, we pick out a little micro offer, and then we basically write one post per day, as we described, top, middle, and bottom funnel. Make sure it's specific through dog whistling, showing the what, not the how, adding our personality, our philosophy, and our perspective. We make an offer every day from socials to get on the email list. We also meet them with some lead magnets along the way. And then once they get on the list, we write one email every single day using stories, that are really fun to write. And then we make an offer to either buy some small snack or some big snack. And that is the entire model that I have put together, which basically has one offer, one post, and one email a day that has enabled me to service 250 Modern Maker clients. I hope you like it. I hope it was useful. If this is, some sort of a model that you would like to work with in your business, and it's really low stress, all of that sort of stuff that you've seen today, if it resonates, because I know it's not for everyone, you can find me on Instagram and DM me the word maker, and I'll send you the details, right? Like no pressure, no rush, just find me there, DM me the word maker. My God, my handwriting is horrific. And I'll send you all those details. And then just to summarize it again, regardless of where you are in the journey, you can paint 10 pain points of your ideal client who's in Hill Island. Then paint 10 desires of what Heaven Island looks like. Focus on who they are, right? Be as specific as humanly possible with that. And then your offer has a first, next, then little mechanism and makes everything worth your while. So I hope you learned something today. Really grateful for your attention. It means the world to me. You can hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Power to you.